everyone, and welcome to today's Wild Rift video. Today I'll be talking about my top picks that you should be playing to climb in Wild Rift Season 18. So far, I've played just over 100 games and I'm currently Master 2. Of course, as my main role, I've been playing a lot of AD carry, but I've also been playing other roles, testing out new builds, the new items, and also talking to a lot of other high elo players and watching a lot of streams. So I feel like I have great knowledge in this new season to give you all the best champions that you should be playing. I'm going to be picking one champion from every single role, so if you want to learn a new role and wondering what champion you want to pick, or even if you want to expand your champion pool, this is going to be the video for you. First up in the Baron lane, I've gone for Aatrox, probably one of the more difficult champions to play on this list, and he has a very high skill ceiling, but his carry potential is unlike any champion I've seen before in Wild Rift. He received a few changes a few patches ago where Riot increased his sweet spot damage, so now when you hit champions on the sweet spot with your first ability, you're going to do a crazy amount of damage. On top of this as well, he has incredible healing with items like Gore Drinker being added into the game. When he uses his ultimate, uses his abilities and his auto attacks, not only is he going to do a lot of damage, but he's also going to be healing a lot as well. And with Seralda's Grudge also being a very popular item, you're not actually going to be hit by any anti-heal at the start of a fight. So you can use this to your advantage and even build Grudge yourself to help you out in team fights. During the laning phase, you can use these sweet spots on your first ability to your advantage. You're also pretty safe when you're playing Aatrox as well, with the dash on your third ability and also your ultimate giving you movement speed. You also have great 1v1 potential, especially once you finish Eclipse as your first item. And then after that, you can build items like Death Stance to give you damage, but also make you unkillable. The great thing about Aatrox as well is that he can also be played in the jungle. You can play him with fleet footwork in the jungle and play more of a carry role and focus more on building more damage rather than items that have both damage and survivability to help you with trading during the lane. Wherever you play Aatrox, whether it's in the jungle, whether it's in the top lane, you'll be able to spam your abilities, get so much healing and so much damage that it's going to be very difficult to try and shut you down. Moving into the jungle, I don't think a lot of you will be surprised that we have Ambessa on this list. She did receive a nerf in patch 6.2a where they reduced the damage of her first ability, but honestly, this wasn't enough. It hurt her jungle clear speed a little bit during the early game, but once you get 1, 2 or even 3 items, she just does a crazy amount of damage. Her inbuilt armor pen on her ultimate plus Seralda's Grudge on top of that just allows you to penetrate through all the armor on any champion that you dive on top of. And especially with tanks being less popular at the moment in this meta, with crit items being buffed, with bruisers being buffed as well, you're one of the best bruisers out there to go 1v1 against these other bruisers. And when you're in the late game, when you're diving in onto the backline, you get easy access with your ultimate, being able to stop everyone in your path and then just be untargetable, go onto the enemy backline, go onto the main carries and one-shot them before they can even move. And Ambessa also benefits from items like Seralda's Grudge and Death Stance being very popular at the moment in this current meta. These Yordle items have made these bruisers even stronger than what they were before, being able to slow effect, get extra damage, extra bleed effect, but also just allowing you to take more damage, more burst damage from AD sources and now also AP sources from Death Stance. In the early game when you're playing jungle in this meta, you just want to farm up until you get level 5 as soon as possible. With junglers, you can get level 5 before any champion in the game. So you can get level 5 and use your ultimate to your advantage, going for tower dives, going for ganks, or even looking to invade in the enemy jungle. Get an advantage for yourself and also for your team. And because dragons and rift heralds have now been delayed and they spawn at 6 minutes in the game, you can now complete your boots and complete your first item Trinity Force before these first objectives spawn. This is also very helpful for when you want to try and take towers. You can gank at the 5 or 4 minute mark and take a full tower with every single tower plating before the objectives spawn. opening up the map for more possibilities for you to hide in bushes, use your ultimate, and get flanks around the enemy backline. For the mid lane, I could have gone for many champions, to be honest with you. I think the mid lane is actually more open than it's ever been. With Liandry's Torment getting buffed to the Yordle version, you now have more early game power spike for champions like Zyra and Morgana, and with Infinity Orb also now getting the huge AoE effect when you kill someone. This also enables champions like Syndra, Zoe, and the champion of my choice, which is Ahri. For me, Ahri just has the best of both worlds. She's one of the easiest champions to play. She has great playmaking potential, and also she has a lot of burst damage. The big thing that I love about Ahri is her ultimate, being able to dash and engage whenever she wants to. If you play in duo queue or trio queue, or even if you play in solo queue, you can get into the river as soon as possible. You can get there before anyone else thanks to your ultimate, and then if you hit a charm on someone, they are going to be walking towards you for a few seconds, which means the rest of your team can follow up afterwards and do a lot of damage. And you could do this throughout the whole game as well. Your ultimate can be used defensively or even offensively, and being able to use that charm and isolate someone and one-shot them makes such a big difference in team fights. And a lot of strong mages at the moment can also do that. Syndra can do well with her stuns, Zoe can do well with her bubbles, but I just love how Ahri has the mobility at the same time as well. Sometimes with these other mages, they struggle a little bit if they get dove on by these strong bruisers right now, like Ambessa, like Aatrox, but Ahri has that flexibility that you can use your ultimate defensively to escape or offensively to get a pick in team fights. And also with tanks not being very popular at the moment, there isn't really any engage tools in the game right now. There's just a lot of AD carries, there's a lot of bruisers that don't really have any easy engage tools like Aatrox, for example. And Ambessa's maybe a little bit different because of her ultimate, but there's a lot of champions like Aatrox and maybe Trendemir. So there's not a lot of crowd control right now with some of these bruisers being in the meta. And that's why Ahri works so well, because you're the one that's going to be engaging in the fights. You're the one that's going to be at the forefront as well, trying to make these plays, hitting charms on enemy carries, and making a huge impact during these team fights. For the dual lane, I think it's a mix-up between Xayah and Corki. I was kind of going back and forth between the two. But what gave Xayah the edge for me, and it's not only because Xayah is my main champion and one of my most beloved champions in Wild Rift and the League of Legends universe, but for me, what wins it for Xayah is her self-peel with her ultimate. Corki can also have a little bit of peeling with his second ability, and honestly at the moment I think Corki has a lot more burst damage with the new Essence Reaver. But for me, Xayah just has so much damage now with Navori Quick Blades. She has crowd control thanks to her feathers, and she has self-peel with her ultimates. With so many things going on at the moment in the game, with so many items being changed, with so many new champions coming in, with so many bruisers being broken as well. We talk about Aatrox, Ambessa, Ahri, all these champions that want to dive in, that want to dive straight onto you. And of course, you are going to be the main focus in these fights. And Xayah can just press cleanse, press her ultimate, and she'll be untargetable for a few seconds, allowing your team to reposition, but also you can pull them feathers back and root the champion for a few seconds as well. So it gives you enough time to walk back, create space, and use your feathers to your advantage. But also, a lot of people don't really respect the feathers that come out from Xayah as well. Now that Navori Quick Blades has been buffed, these feathers now do more damage than they've ever done before. So with this on top of Bloodthirster being a very strong first item and helping you a lot with survivability, Xayah just has the damage that a lot of other AD carries also have, but also the survivability at the same time as well. But as I mentioned, I think Corki is also a very strong pick this patch, being able to do a lot of burst damage with his rockets and being a great pick if you have any crowd control on your team. It just allows you to hit your other abilities. Besides, laning phase is very safe. You can just use your feathers at range and auto attack when you need to, and you can use your feathers to your advantage to help you start root someone, stun someone, and being able to follow up with your auto attacks. And then again, when you're in team fights, as long as you stay on the back line, you don't play too aggressive, then you'll be completely fine. And one of the best things about Xayah, and why Xayah is also very strong, is Xayah loves to peel. Xayah loves to play this front to back style where you're just hitting the first champion in front of you and you want to peel back. You want to keep running back, keep auto attacking, and then pull the feathers to do a lot of damage. When you're chasing with Xayah, you're not going to do as much damage because the feathers are also not going to do as much damage because they're not stacked on top of each other. But when the enemies are running towards you like an Aatrox and RM better, you can keep auto attacking a range. You can benefit from the extra movement speed and then pull the feathers back to one-shot enemy champions. And it wouldn't be a Xayah without a Rakan. The Lovers duo bot lane is very powerful right now. Rakan got a huge buff in patch 6.2, buffing 3 of his abilities and even buffing his base stats as well. The damage on his first ability went up and also the damage on his second ability. There are 2 different ways that you can play Rakan. You could play Rakan as a full burst AP mage, which for me has a lot more carry potential and is a lot better in solo queue. Or you can play a more tankier style where you go for Glacial Augment, you can go for Zeke's Convergence. You're still going to be do a lot of damage, but you're more focused on utility and slows and your crowd control rather than trying to be a carry one-shotting enemy champions. You already do a lot of damage with your abilities, with, as I mentioned, your first ability and your second ability being buffed. Your ultimate as well is great in team fights. If you can charm multiple enemy champions, then use your second ability to jump on in and use that to proc electrocute and do a bunch of burst damage. That is going to help you out a bunch. And with the build as well, when you're going for items like Trident, you're going for Morella Nomicon, you're going to have both anti-shield and anti-heal in your kit with Awakened Soul Stealer as well. So if you do one-shot a champion with electrocute and your other abilities, you can then follow up and use your other abilities again. Another great thing about Rakan is being able to use both his abilities offensively and also defensively as well. You basically have free engage with your second ability because you can jump back again with your third ability. So you can jump in with your second ability, use your first ability and auto attack and your second ability, and then you'll be able to just jump back again with your third ability. You can use this for peeling your AD carry as well. If there is an Ambessa or an Aatrox trying to jump on your AD carry, you can chain CC someone for a good few seconds with your ultimate, with your second ability, and then use the healing from your first ability and the shielding to give your AD carry enough peeling than what you need to. So Rakan doesn't always need to be this full-on burst mage to try and burst the enemy AD carry. You can use your damage to help peel for your AD carry and burst these bruisers instead. As I mentioned, with tanks not really being in the meta at the moment, your damage is going to be a lot higher than what it was before. Unless the enemies build Death Stance, that item is a little bit broken right now and can stop a lot of your burst damage. And that's going to do it for my picks for Wild Rift Season 18. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments and love to hear what you're having success on in the new season. Are you finding a new role to shine with? Are you finding new champions with the new items? How are the items treating you as well? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And as always, if you enjoy the content on this channel, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Peace.